Good day, everyone, and welcome to Primary School Masterclass, the Caribbean's elite online educational academy. My name is Thane Barbara, and today I'm so excited to have two lovely individuals that are breaking barriers in our nation's shores. I don't know if they know that, but it is a talking point. It is growing in its audience almost every day, especially with my students and students of this primary school masterclass. We have Miss Nandani Samuel, and Miss Josanne Singh. A little bit about them. They are both registered dietitians and each hold a Bachelor's of Science in Human Nutrition and Dietetics and a postgraduate diploma in Institutional Community Nutrition and Dietetics. Okay? The reason why we are here today is this book. Let me hold it up for you guys to see. Okay? This book is entitled Workbook, Diabetes Edition, and taking it from their social media, it was developed because there's a prevalence of diabetes in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean, and education is very important. Now, with Primary School Masterclass, myself and the other educators and the entire technical staff who run the YouTube and the social media and everything, they have seen it as an educational resource that is valuable, not only for healthy eating, but it develops creativity and it could definitely be on the learning resource for the SEA exam. Okay, and personally for me, I think that this book is a must-have for kids to learn healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. The earlier, the better. So, welcome, Nandani and Josanne. Thank you for being with us today. How are you guys doing today?
Okay, for now. Thank you so much, Shane, for the wonderful introduction.
Okay, sure, no problem. How are you doing today, Josanne?
I am doing well, and thank you for having us today. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for all the kind words about our book.
Awesome. So I am going through the book here. I did some of the activities. I'm no shame in saying that. It was very, very fun. I learned a couple of things from it as well. Um, First question, I just want to ask, what inspired you to write this book?
Okay, so during our internship, institutional community nutrition and dietetics, what we learned that there was need for intervention. The adults were confused about diabetes, so far as for the kids, and we decided that we needed to do something or probably create some sort of content that would educate them, not just persons who are living with diabetes or children with diabetes, but children without as well. Because a lot of children tend to think that, the older ones are the persons who get diabetes, and they don't take into consideration they too can get diabetes. So what we are seeing here as well, because I'm at the Diabetes Association in the head office in Shogunas, and what we are seeing as a trend is that a lot of children are actually having type 2 diabetes, which is caused by unhealthy lifestyles and diets as well, lack of exercise.
Is that what you would classify as juvenile diabetes?
Okay, so we have three types of diabetes. We have type 1, type 2, and gestational. So type 1 is usually where the insulin, where the pancreas doesn't secrete insulin at all. So you have to get the insulin injections. Type 2 is caused by and that is classified as juvenile. Then we have type 2, where it's caused by unhealthy lifestyle and diet. So we more than likely see this in persons who are older. But as I said, we are seeing a trend where the younger ones are getting it because of the high rates of obesity in Trinidad. So because there's a high rate of obesity, that's a major contributor or risk factor for actually developing diabetes in the near future. And then we have type 3 diabetes, which is just gestational, where women usually experience that during pregnancy.
I am aware I do have people in my family that have diabetes, but I know I don't have diabetes, but I can see what the lifestyle is like, and I because of this book and your target audience for this book, I realized that kids actually have to go through this, and this book definitely makes it a lot more helpful for not only them, but especially parents as well. So, what would you want to say to the parents? Um, if you want to tell them something about it, like any advice you would say, anyone?
Okay, well, in terms of speaking to the parents, well, firstly, we need to monitor what our children are having, what they are eating, their lifestyle, their screen time, their habits, their exercise habits. A lot of parents don't read the nutrition facts labels, and this is one of our major components of the book. Reading nutrition labels, focusing on the Caribbean 6 food groups. Many persons don't know we actually use this educational tool to educate. So the Caribbean 6 food groups entails staples, legumes, food from animals, fruits, vegetables, and fats and oils. And we want to have a variety of foods in our diets. And a lot of children, from what I've been seeing, is they focus more on the carbs, like pancakes and the breads and all those things, and they are not actually having proper intake of protein or even vegetables. A lot of children are not even eating vegetables. So it's important to find creative ways to introduce all these things, because all of this would make a part of a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle to prevent chronic diseases in future. And I mean, Josanne can add to that as well, because she has seen it at her time during internship.
Just to add to what Nandani said as well, we want to encourage the parents to strive for balance in the diet. We're not saying not to have the sugar sweetened beverages or not to have the sugary snacks, but try to have some sort of balance there so the children are aware that they need to have some healthy snacks as well as they can indulge in the more unhealthy snacks as well.
Balance is definitely key. From my knowledge, I would just imagine this is just me thinking here. Generally, you guys could tell me what you think about this. I think adults have a hard time balancing their diet. Okay, and if they themselves can't balance their diet, what's gonna happen to the diet of the kids? You know, I've seen
Yes.
sometimes if if the if there's not like a balance, what you're talking about, with the cooking of the adults, if we buy food every day, the kids are gonna eat that. You know,
Yes.
the kids are gonna eat that. So there's really no monitoring that's going on. And this is gonna bring me to the second question. I speak with parents all the time, and everybody's interested. You know, the classic question: how can we increase their mark? Everybody want to get full marks in school. Everybody want to get first in tests, or even they just want their child to just flourish and enjoy their childhood, do well in school and everything. So, how much really does diet and eating a balanced diet affect student performance? You know, because sometimes I see some really good students doing very good academically, but we always tell our educators on the calls, have a walk, take a little bit of exercise, get your blood pumping. So we
Yes.
try to do a balance, but how much does diet really affect students' performance?
Okay, well, Tina, I'm glad that you actually asked that question, because research is actually showing that having an unhealthy diet or not even having breakfast at all, let's just start with breakfast, declines a student's performance. It affects their cognitive ability and performance. So having a healthy, well-balanced diet, on the other hand, actually help them perform better at school, because they would have that nutrition that they need to function. Because each person, each child requires a certain amount of nutrition for the day, a certain amount of nutrients, a certain amount of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and so on, vitamins and minerals. And once that intake is being covered, as well as in combination with exercise and so on, they would have usually is shown to be having a better performance at school academically. And I mean, Josanne could also add to this as well, because she have experience with this.
Yeah, so the research actually shows that it affects cognitive health. That includes an alertness as well. Also, as we age, naturally, we have a decline in cognitive abilities as well. So if we start with a good foundation, having healthy like eating lifestyles as well as other things such as exercising as well, we could actually slow down that decline of cognitive health.
But um, but yeah, I think it's really important because, as you know, with the lifestyle of online learning, I see a lot of students have just lost interest, in activities and exercise. So,
Right.
you know, this this is becoming the education for eating
Yeah.
healthy is becoming more and more important. I think it, as most has ever been now to have that education to eat right. You know.
Yes. And then the next point is that even though we need to start to consider what is the importance of food, food is what gives us energy. And if the children are not having any food on mornings, for instance, I know with online classes, based on what I'm seeing as well with persons around me, they are skipping breakfast, they are skipping meals, sometimes they even skip lunch and just have dinner. They have a lot of high sugar sweetened snacks. So because they can't have that sort of energy given to them, how are they going to perform at school?
So we can still have the Starbucks and the rituals, but there must be a balance in between.
There
Yes,
must be a
definitely.
balance. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you guys did a lovely job. You guys wrote the composition, the stories, um, here with the Picasso. There's another individual. This is your own creative writing.
Yes.
Josanne, is that you who wrote the stories here?
It's both of us. We did
Both
everything.
of us wrote, yeah, these stories. We did the graphics and everything together.
Especially this page, the nutrition facts. Okay, you need to look behind the label or something. Even at an early age, yeah, pretty good. Very, 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 very educational. Um, Now, personally for me, and I'm speaking with the small team we have here, right? Um, are students really receiving the information they need to live healthy lives in our present day education system? Because we know the classic, like the SEA exam, and even some other um, corresponding examination bodies that teach primary school in the Caribbean, they just go even generally creative writing, mathematics, and language arts. Okay? And even in our country, by standard 4, standard 5, we kind of focus on those three. But do you think, or how much importance should be put on the education with health and proper diet? Do you think that it should be implemented in the curriculum even in primary school?
Okay, so first of all, Tina, I don't believe that we have, especially in the primary schools, we don't have a proper focus on nutrition. A lot of the nutrition stuff are being done in Form 2 and above, where they learn about biology and chemistry and all these different things. So enough is not being placed at primary school level or even preschool level. At preschool level, we can even tell simple stories that would educate children. So nutrition is not a main focus as part of our curriculum right now. So yes, things are being done in terms of yes, persons are going out to schools and doing lectures. I know that the National Dietary Services Limited, they usually go out to schools and they do a lot of lectures and so on. However, within the school system, I don't believe a lot of persons or the teachers are being educated on how to focus more on nutrition as well. Because as we were talking about the last point, yes, nutrition affects their academic performance. So now the teachers may ask themselves, why is this child not performing as properly as the others? What if they are not having the right nutrition? So that's why I believe it needs to be improved. And yes, it would take a lot of work for that improvement to happen.
So yes, it would be lovely for our book to be included in the curriculum. But just as Nandini mentioned before, I don't think a lot is being done in terms of focusing on nutrition and wellness in the school curriculum. More emphasis should be placed. It should be a part of the curriculum for both preschool going straight up until secondary school as well.
So I have a professor stay tuned for book two. How soon are we going to be looking out for book two?
We're
Well,
definitely launching book
it
two
would be soon.
sometime this year.
Yeah, it would be definitely be this sometime this year. We haven't decided on a date yet.
Well, the book is only I think 3 months old. It was launched on December 12th. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely getting some momentum, right? Um, So that's it. What can you say finally um, about getting in contact with you or getting their hands on this book? Where can we get this book?
So you can actually purchase the book directly through us, and you can reach out to us on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram at rainbownutrition.tt. Also, it is being sold through the Diabetes Association of Trinidad and Tobago, so you can reach out to them as well to purchase it. In physical stores, you can find it at Scribbles and Quills as well as Next Gen Bookstore in Mayaro.
Yeah, what was the price of the book?
The cost of the book is $80.
For me, for us, we put this on the list, especially for standard one. Okay, to develop their creative writing and to get some kind of activities going as well as learning some good information. We always recommend this book now. So anything you want to say to close off to the parents and even the students out there?
I would just like to encourage the parents from now on to try to look closely. I mean, I know that a lot of parents have busy lifestyles and so on because of jobs and so on, but it's important to look closely at their lifestyles from now because sooner or later you would realize because it's important to look at the signs and symptoms of diabetes, not just diabetes, but look at if your child is getting overweight. And once they are getting overweight, look at that trend to see if they are being having a risk of diabetes. Because if you have it within the family, the child could more than likely get it in the near future. So it's important to encourage. I would always encourage a healthy, well balanced diet and exercise.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for your valuable time on this. All the information that was stated here will be added in the description of this video. So you can just check the description of this video in the YouTube. It will be posted on our YouTube channel, Primary School Masterclass, and on the Facebook with Nandani's and Josanne's permission. All rights go to them, right? Very, very careful about copyright law and plagiarism and taking people's information, but all the information will go towards them. And thank you again for your time and God bless.